You obviously talked about the feasibility of the Scalp EEG and that, it's able to be kind of used a lot of different areas. So just talk a little bit more about that aspect specifically. How are we going to be able to sort of translate what we see in this study across the world and to other places, and even to other places that may not have as many resources per se?
Sure, Marco, that's a great question. And it is also a goal of mine and my team to develop tools, surgical prediction tools that would be of benefit to the whole world. I think that the last time that we talked about the nomograms that we developed, these online risk calculators, which are now used all over. We can track their use because it runs on our server and we have the addresses, so we know from which part of the world it's running on. And it's being used over the last time that we looked, it was 9,000 times per year, which is a good number considering that there is 2,000 to 3,000 surgeries that happen in the US. So it tells you the rest is really happening. It's being accessed and used everywhere else in the world. My goal from this research now with machine learning is to get to that level of universal use. And that is why we looked at the Scalp EEG, because now the only hurdle I have to overcome is moving from the algorithm to implementing it in a software platform that could be integrated, say, with EEG acquisition machines, or that people could download publicly and implement on our patients. That is a big hurdle, but at least I don't have to overcome the fact that intracranial EEG or functional MRI or post-processing of MRI studies are by definition infrastructure requirements that would be way too expensive for anywhere outside of Cleveland Clinic and a few select centers in the US to actually implement, right? So starting from a place where I know that even in the middle, in really underprivileged communities and low middle income countries, Scalp EEG is routinely done. And I know that because of my activities within the International League Against Epilepsy and, interactions with epilepsy providers in those countries. Scalp EEG is really done everywhere. So at least the data input is not going to be a hurdle to scale this algorithm. The next step is figuring out how to integrate it in software packages that could be implemented elsewhere and integrated with acquisition devices, sort of how, say, take the imaging research, for example, like there is the diabetes community. You probably are aware of that, but there are these algorithms that they developed from ultrasound images or pictures that they take from the retina that they can run and then provide a diagnostic recommendation. Oh, this is retinopathy or it's not. And then these algorithms are now used in portable devices in India, like in the middle, in rural communities, to help disseminate the ability to make diagnoses. So that is a technical challenge with how do you implement an algorithm in a portable machine, that you can that you can execute on more broadly. But that's the kind of challenge that we're dealing with, right? So it's solvable, but it's going to take a lot of work from where we are right now. First, we have to reproduce our these results in cohorts outside of Cleveland Clinic. We have to reproduce those findings in epilepsy types outside of temporal lobe epilepsy. And then we have to solve the technical issue of integrating it in a device.